and the will of the people must always matter and be respected in a democracy. President Buhari notes that the successful conduct of the election is a further testimony to the maturity and commitment of all stakeholders: the electoral body, security agencies, political parties, the media, civil society, and the electorate, to further strengthen the integrity of the electoral process in the country. The President reassures the nation that the commitment of his administration towards having credible elections remains unshaken. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared Senator Ademola Adeleke of the PDP as the winner of the July 16th Osun State governorship election. Timothy Yusuf reports that the election was keenly contested.
Vice-Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Temitayo Ogundipe, is the returning officer of the July 16, 2022 Osun State governorship election. Senator Ademola Adeleke of the PDP polled 403,371 to defeat incumbent Governor Adegboyega Oyetola of the APC, who polled 375,027.
I declare that Adeleke, Ademola, Jackson, Nuruddin, on behalf of the chairman of INEC of PDP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner, and he is returned elected.
The governor-elect Ademola Adeleke, flanked by the Director General of the PDP National Campaign Council for Osun State and Governor of Bayelsa State, Doyediri, described the victory as a rebound of the party ahead of the 2023 general elections.
I'm bringing on the table integrity, steadfastness, accountability into Osun State.
There was organic support for the candidate and for the party, and it has been so proven.
Adeleke won 17 local government areas, while the candidate of the APC, Governor Oyetola, won the remaining 13 local government areas in the state. With this victory, Adeleke is expected to be sworn in on the 27th of November 2022 as the governor of Osun State. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
In the meantime, Osun State Governor and candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Adegboyega Oyetola, has taken cognizance of the results of the governorship election in the state as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Sunday morning. Oyetola, however, noted that the party would be responding appropriately after studying the results and consulting with critical stakeholders of the party. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Ismail Omipidon, Oyetola called on his supporters to remain calm and the people of the state to go about their businesses without any hindrance. The governor also called on security operatives to ensure maintenance of law and order, as he directed them to take adequate charge so as to prevent breakdown of law and order. And still in Osun State, where members and supporters of People's Democratic Party were in extreme joy for the victory that their party recorded in the just concluded election in Osun State. Sequel to this, the Deputy Governor-elect, Prince Adekola Adewusi, led supporters of the party in Ile-Ife in an appreciation tour to some places in the town. Our correspondent, Abdul Fatai Owolabi, completes the story.
Members of the People's Democratic Party and their supporters were thrown in jubilation following the victory recorded on the just concluded governorship election in Osun State. The enthusiastic PDP supporters were in the motorcade, dancing and singing in some part of the major roads of Ile-Ife. Addressing the mammoth crowd in front of the Onis Palace, the Deputy Governor-elect, Prince Kola Adewusi, attributed the people's victory to the act of God.
Than a reaction of joy reaction to victory. It's a good thing that we have won the election, and I am so happy, so happy. Oh, honestly, that is what you see that you have been doing around. We have gone around the whole town now to thank them for their support that led us to this stage. So we are very, very grateful.
The deputy governor-elect assured the citizens of the state that all their electioneering campaign would be implemented.
We have a manifesto, and on education, on agriculture, on health, on infrastructures, we have listed all these things times without number. And this is our plan for the entire state, to improve the level of education, to improve the level of the situation of health facility, to promote agriculture, infrastructure.
From Ile-Ife, Abdul Fattah Ewolabi, NTA News.
In related developments, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, has congratulated Senator Ademola Adeleke, winner of the Osun State July 16th governorship election. Ayu, in a statement, also congratulated the good people and residents of Osun State who have kept faith with the PDP. He saluted the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as well as security agencies for towing the path of neutrality and ensuring that the votes counted. The presidential candidate of the PDP and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has similarly congratulated Senator Ademola Adeleke on his victory, saying that the ship of hope is already at the harbor under the umbrella of the People's Democratic Party. Atiku, in a statement, says one more good thing about the victory in Osun is that it has provided a catalyst for the PDP to see the opportunity when the party works together in unity, emphasizing that the work to bring the PDP together is a work in progress. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Kalibaba, has applauded the security operatives and Osun electorate for the peaceful conduct of the Saturday governorship election in the state. In a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the IGP says the deployment of about 21,000 personnel and assets led the swift response to some pockets of electoral offenses. The IGP equally lauded the collaborative efforts of other security agencies in the peaceful conduct of the elections, while urging Nigerians to toe the line of peaceful conduct in subsequent elections. The Inspector General of Police assures Nigerians of an improved election security management. The campaign for equal voting access to persons with disabilities, a program of the Center for Citizens with Disability, has commended the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and other election stakeholders for what it calls significant improvement on the number of accessible polling units for persons living with disabilities and other vulnerable groups during the just concluded Osun governorship election. The group, in a preliminary statement signed by its chairman, David Anyele, said it is impressed that marginalized populations such as the aged, nursing mothers and pregnant women and persons with disabilities were offered priority voting in a significant number of the polling units observed across the 3 senatorial districts of the state. The group said reports from its observers indicate that INEC cited a significant number of polling units along the roadside and dropped the ballot boxes on the floor, while a good number of other polling units were sited in buildings with access for those on wheelchairs, especially in Irepo-Odun, Eden North and South, Borikpe, Oduote, and Ijebu-Ijesha local government area of the state. Going forward, the group wants INEC to review the location of a large number of polling units across street gutters or in schools with steps and high pavements, which give voters with physical disability much trouble to cast their votes. The Federal Executive Council has sent best wishes to Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as he recuperates following a successful operation on account of a fracture of his right thigh bone, a long-standing injury associated with the game of squash. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, in a statement on behalf of FEC members, wishes the Vice President quick recovery in order to continue to give the needed support for the overall growth and stability of the country. Members of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, JNAPID, Ogun State Chapter, have been inaugurated. The new executives, led by Michael Eboho, will pilot the affairs of the association for years. Akim Jimo's report is here presented.
56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61.
Members of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, JNAPID, Ogun State Chapter, converged on Abeokuta Metropolis to elect their leaders who will be in charge of the affairs of the association. At the end of the keenly contested election, Michael Eboho was declared winner, having pulled 61 votes to defeat 2 other contestants to become the association's new chairman in Ogun State.
We intend to empower our members in terms of skill acquisition, in terms of education, capacity building, investment and business management. And we are poised to reduce poverty among the rank and file of persons living with disability.
Stakeholders advised members of JNAPID to understand their abilities and disabilities and play to their strengths.
No doubt that it will perform well. Where we stop the tax, it will continue to ensure that people with disability in Ogun State are given full inclusion, and also they are given their rights in the area of quality education, in the area of good health facilities.
And I promise them that there will not be any issue, that the election is going to be free and fair, which everybody has witnessed that it's free and fair. We are not doing any aki-paki, we don't have any favorite, and we thank God for the successful of that election.
Certificates of return were later presented to the newly inaugurated executives.
In another development, the Nigerian Labour Congress has urged the federal government to negotiate in good faith and resolve the ongoing public university strike and not keep the unions in the dark concerning the Professor Nimi Briggs recommendation. A statement by the NLC President Ayuba Waba said the concern by the Congress became necessary in view of recent reports in the media that the federal government may have rejected its own Nimi Briggs Committee on Negotiation of the 2009 agreement on the premise of an alleged disparity between the pay rise allocated to university teaching staff and the non-teaching staff. Waba wanted the federal government to conclude the ongoing negotiation with trade unions in Nigeria's university to be prepared to commence implementation of whatever collective bargaining agreement arising thereof so that public universities can resume normal activities. A 27-year-old suspected drug queen has been arrested at the Lagos airport for planting cannabis sativa concealed in fetish bowls on 2 Oman-bound male passengers. The suspects are believed to be traveling to Oman, Middle East, before they were intercepted by NDLEA operatives at the airport. Meanwhile, operations conducted in Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Adamawa states see to the seizure of 91 jumbo bags of cannabis weighing 1,029.5 kilograms and quantums of pharmaceutical opioids, as well as arrest of 8 suspects. Now, on that note, to wrap up Channel 12 News, thank you for watching. I'm Idarisit Adedokun. Good evening.